12 things Back to the Future got right or didn't anticipate about 2015. 1. Digital glasses. Doc gets out of the car and you see his plastic wraparound glasses. We are 5 to 10 years away from this tech being common to drive with heads-up display and digital overlay. Right now, all we have is Google Glass, unfortunately. Maybe the shiny glasses are driver-approved, so cops know they won't be distracted. The kids at the McFly table were using something similar, but shaped differently. Number 2. Mind-powered video games. The future of games will involve mind or eye controls and holograms. Using hands and whole body, however, will still be used and not be considered a baby's game any more than tabletop has been replaced by video games. If anything, fitness games like the Wii will keep picking up. Number 3. Height adjusters. Griff makes himself taller in one scene and appears bionically enhanced. Exoskeleton suits are being designed for workers and physically impaired to give them normal or super strength. Number 4. Biometric house security. 10 years from now, keys will be more and more useless. A criminal will be able to use low-level x-rays to 3D scan the key in your pocket and 3D print one to break in. Biometrics will be the only real option. Number 5. Outdated technology. Dot matrix faxes. They had no idea what printing would advance to. The use of television with multiple channels on at the same time seemed like the logical progression in the 80s. They assumed that with all the cable channels in the future that watching them all at once would be a thing. The industry tried picture-in-picture, and it was more a gimmick than anything else. Also, Marty Jr. would have been much more likely to pop open his laptop or pull out his phone and cut the cable cord, then turn on TV for background. Number 6. Skype. Video phones have been anticipated since the actual phone was invented, but it was more a surprise that Skype and other video services became essentially free via the internet than it was anticipated in this movie. Creators probably assumed this would use phone lines and still have the concept of long-distance calls outside the area code. Number 7. Weird inventions. The voice-activated fruit bowl coming down from the ceiling. This invention is plausible to make, but a pain in the butt to install. It did point out about smart house concepts and Internet of Things, but that was just kind of a weird invention. Also, Pepsi packaging. They were selling that in stores just now for the anniversary, but companies usually make bottles for best use of transport space and tensile strength. I'm going to guess these bottles will waste space and may be a pain to drink from. Number 8. Fashion. Funny thing about all 80s movies that deal with the future is that everyone in the future looks like they're in a weird parody of 80s fashion. I have a feeling we are about 30 years away from the rise of retro-futuristic 80s version of steampunk, similar to the 80s atomic ray gun cosplay. They considered themselves to be the peak of cool in the 80s, and I think they'd be shocked at our much more conservative fashion sense today. Every fashion trend was a reaction to new manufacturing techniques. Other than incorporating electronics and flexible screens into the fabric the way invisibility cloaks have, it's unlikely new fashion will really exist as the future progresses. They just seem to cycle through the past fashion and fusion it because there are only so many combinations of clothing you can have. People from around the world are embracing Western dress and keeping their traditional clothing for special occasions because Western dress is comfortable and convenient for modern life and pretty affordable. Spandex tracksuits in the 80s promoted as futuristic are not. Number 9. The Internet. No mention of the Internet, which would have dramatically changed the story and look and feel. Number 10. Cell phones and social media. Doc would have kept Marty away from the Internet for fear of too much knowledge, but the kids and future Marty would have been all on their phones. Or maybe that's what those goggles the kids had on at dinner were about. Writers of the movie actually came out and said that they didn't at all anticipate the Internet or cell phones or social media. There were people like Asimov who did, but since the stories didn't contain Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan, I guess they missed those predictions. Number 11. 3D printing. This is a tech most people don't even think of today because it's in its infancy, but it's still quite a big invention in the current era. Number 12. Nothing happened in space. The space program in the movie was just as ignored as it is now. Nothing amazing to discuss. No Mars landing, no moon colonies. They predicted this one dead on. As far as I know, these are all the errors and things that Back to the Future got right. There may be a couple more here and there that I didn't get because they were in the background. I hope you enjoyed this little side series, and I will see you in the future. Hey there, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw from my channel, please subscribe and donate to my Patreon. If you have evidence to counter what I say, please provide it. If you like this video, please click on the Future Shorts playlist on the screen.